Today on Rappler, the United Nations defends its chief of peacekeepers in the Golan Heights, accused of putting Filipinos in danger.
Kalakaran na ho namin sa Makati yan eh. Totoo po, sir.
Former Makati city employee says fixing bids for city projects was common practice. And the death toll for the Ebola epidemic crosses 1,900. Hello, I'm Ai Makaraig. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The United Nations defends the commander of the UN Disengagement Observer Forces, or UNDOF. The Philippine military accuses the commander of putting Filipino peacekeepers in the Golan Heights in danger. UN Undersecretary General for Peacekeeping Operations, REVILLA says Lieutenant General Iqbal Singa exercised good, sound judgment during the standoff last week between Filipino soldiers and Syrian rebels affiliated with Al-QAEDA. The rebels stormed UN encampments, kidnapped Fijian peacekeepers, and demanded the Filipino troops surrender their weapons. The soldiers refused, resulting in a standoff that escalated into a 7-hour firefight. Philippine Military Chief Gregorio Katapang Jr. says UNDOF Commander Lieutenant General Singa wanted the Filipinos to surrender their weapons to the rebels. Katapang says the military considered the order an attempt to make the Filipino troops sacrificial pawns to save the kidnapped Fijian peacekeepers. But Latus denies this. He says the Filipinos were ordered to, quote, leave the weapons quiet so as to give some space, but never to hand over weapons, not to shoot. Running out of ammunition, the Filipino soldiers later executed an escape mission midnight on September 1st. Katapang initially wanted the UN to investigate Singa, but later said he will defer to President Benigno Aquino's decision.
It's a blame game na ngayon. But ayaw naman namin magsisiya na tayo kasi tapos na ito eh. And we will just follow orders kung ano man ang sasabihin sa amin.
During a Senate hearing on an allegedly overpriced Makati City Hall building, a former employee says fixing bids for city projects was the usual practice in the local government. Former City Bids and Awards Vice Chairman Mario Hechanova says he was given 200,000 pesos a month to pick only companies endorsed by the Binay family.
Kalakaran na ho namin sa Makati yan eh. Ganyan ho talaga yung ginagawa namin.
So sa madaling salita, lahat ng bidding sa Makati ay niluluto ninyo para may manalong favored contractor?
Totoo po, sir. Lahat po, luto po yan.
Okay. Sino ba?
This is the Senate's fourth hearing over the allegedly overpriced Makati City Hall Building 2. The probe is based on a plunder case filed against Vice President Jejomar Binay and his son Makati Mayor Junjun Binay. The Binay family dismisses the investigation as a demolition job. Hechanova says former Makati City engineer Nelson Morales told him to give the City Hall building project to Hillmark's Construction Corporation, allegedly on the orders of then Mayor Binay.
Dito ba sa transaksyon na ito ay may anomalya nangyari?
Meron po, Senador.
Okay. Ano po yung anomalya na nangyari na yan?
Bago ho ipabid itong project na to, ipinatawag ho ako ng city engineer namin. Pinapunta ako sa kanyang opisina at sabi sa akin Mario, gaya ng dati, alam mo na kung sino ang dapat manalo sa project na ito.
Itong si Engineer Morales, may nagutos ba rito sa kanya o sa kanya lang ito?
Senador, si Engineer Morales naman parang alter ego na ng mayor yan eh. Pag siya ang nag-utos, alam namin galing na po sa mayor ang utos.
Sino pong mayor ang tinutukoy ninyo?
Si Vice President Jojo Binay po, Senador. Sigurado po ako na yung sinabi ni Engineer Morales na si mayor ang nag-utos. Kasi po si Engineer Morales matagal nang kasama ni Mayor Jojo Binay yan. Trusted niya po yan. So,
At one
siya
point,
rin ang binibigyan
Hechanova
siya.
claims he was forced to trap an interested bidder in an elevator to make sure that the rival bidder, a friend of the Be Nice, bags the project. During the hearing, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano grills an executive from Hillmarks. Hillmarks Assistant Vice President for Legal Rogelio Peig says the Makati building was not overpriced, at least compared to other government projects. But Cayetano rejects Peig's explanation, accusing him of lying under oath.
Medyo niloloko tayo sa math, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, Panyero, but that's my conclusion. You know why?
Asked if the building is world-class, Peig neither confirmed nor denied this.
For the record, the contractor says that you are not claiming that the parking building you built is world class.
We do not make any claim, Your Honor.
Trata
We are
wala.
not also saying it is not world class.
Okay. So, but have you seen it, sir? Hindi rin.
Is it world class?
Anti-graft court Sandigan Bayan denies the motion of government lawyers to move Senator Bong Revilla to a regular jail for lack of merit. The order also covers Revilla's aide Richard Gambe. The two are detained at the Philippine National Police Custodial Center in Camp Crame. The Sandigan Bayan says they may still be moved to another detention facility at any time once state prosecutors provide substantive justification. The prosecution earlier asked the court to move Revilla, Cambe, and alleged pork barrel scam mastermind Janet Napoles to Camp Bagong Diwa in Taguig. Revilla, Napoles, and Cambe face plunder charges for allegedly conniving to steal millions in development funds. Revilla and Cambe also face 16 counts of graft, while Napoles faces 42 counts. Electricity rates may go up by around 5 centavos per kilowatt hour if the Power Sector Assets and Liabilities Management Corporation, or PISAM, is forced to settle over a lawsuit filed by its former employees. The Quezon City Regional Trial Court orders PISAM to pay over 60 billion pesos in compensation to employees it terminated when it reorganized the National Power Corporation, or NAPCOR, in 2003. The court also orders the seizure of PISAM funds held by private sector generation administrators and distributors. If PISAM settles, the additional 0.51 pesos per kilowatt hour will be collected monthly for 5 years. PISAM President Emmanuel Ledesma Jr. says seizure of the agency's funds will affect daily operations. PISAM and NAPOCOR file a motion for reconsideration before the Supreme Court. The Justice Department, or DOJ, says a cartel controlled by 4 individuals is behind the spike in garlic prices in Metro Manila. Justice Secretary Leila De Lima says the cartel colludes with officials from the Agriculture Department and Bureau of Plant Industry. Garlic prices caught the attention of Malacanang when they reached a high of 287 pesos, or 6.08 per kilo in $6.58 per kilo in June 2014. It is a 74% increase over a 1-year period and more than 100% from average prices. About 73% of garlic is imported, while the remaining 27% comes from local sources. The DOJ says the importation system allowed one businesswoman to control the bulk of garlic importation. Britain might join the fight against the Islamic State of Syria and Iraq, or ISIS, after the group threatened to kill a British hostage. In a video showing the severed head of American journalist Stephen Sotloff, a masked militant warns a Briton identified as David Haynes will be killed if the United States continues its airstrikes against militants in northern Iraq. British Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond says London will not rule out taking part in airstrikes if necessary. Prime Minister David Cameron adds, ISIS terrorists speak for no religion. The death toll for the Ebola epidemic goes over 1,900, now higher than the total fatalities in all previous outbreaks combined. Global health experts urge world leaders to do more to address the epidemic, the worst Ebola outbreak since its discovery in 1976. World Health Organization Director General Margaret Chan says there are 3,500 confirmed cases in Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. International Medical Agency Doctors Without Borders says the world is losing the battle to contain Ebola. But there are patients who survived after taking experimental drug ZMapp, including British nurse William Pooley and American missionaries Nancy Wrightbole and Dr. Kent Brantley. South Korea announces its plans to create a combined army unit with the United States to destroy North Korea's weapons in the event of an all-out conflict. The South Korean Defense Ministry says the unit will be set up in the first half of 2015. It adds the unit will be the first combined field combat unit to carry out wartime operations. If fresh hostilities break out, the U.S. commander in South Korea will assume control of the South's 640,000 troops. The two Koreas are still technically at war as their conflict ended in an armistice instead of a peace treaty. In June, North Korea announced the successful test of new tactical guided missiles and began testing in the following months. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 3, Al-QAEDA chief Ayman al-Zawahiri launches a new branch of the Islamist extremist group in India. Al-QAEDA is active in Afghanistan and Pakistan, but Zawahiri says Al-QAEDA will take the fight to India, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. In launching Qaidat al-Jihad in the Indian subcontinent, Zawahiri may be attempting to exploit the unrest in Kashmir and Myanmar. At number 8, Samsung launches the Galaxy Note 4 smartphone Wednesday in Berlin. The Note 4 runs on the Android 4.4 KitKat operating system, has a 16-megapixel rear camera and 3.7-megapixel front-facing camera. The S Note widget also allows a user to take notes and pin them to the front menu screen for easy reference. One of its new features is a smart scanning system. It scans a photo, determines if it is a document or an image, and allows the user to edit the scanned file. And at number 10, experts say the leak of naked photos of celebrities, including Oscar winner Jennifer Lawrence, should be treated as a sex crime. Already hounded by paparazzi, celebrities face a new battle to protect their privacy from hackers willing to splash their intimate photos online. Agents and lawyers of celebrities acknowledge data security is a new issue the entertainment industry needs to learn more about. They say public figures need to understand the risks that advancing technology poses. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Astronomers say they mapped the galaxy supercluster the solar system is part of. They named the supercluster Laniakea, or Immense Heaven. The Nature journal reports Laniakea is comprised of around 100,000 galaxies with about 100 million billion suns. The Milky Way, the galaxy which includes the solar system, lies on the outskirts of Laniakea. A team from the Institute for Astronomy at the University of Hawaii also used a new method to map the supercluster Earth is part of. Determining the boundaries of the so-called galaxy superclusters has been a big debate among astronomers. They calculated each galaxy's location by estimating its velocity relative to the universe's expansion. Gilas Pilipinas fights its last game at the FIBA World Cup Championship in Spain versus the Senegal team. Let's check Rappler's live blog for the latest score. So the latest score now, it's 49-44 Gilas after 3. Our sports editor Ryan Songalia says Jimmy Alapag with another huge 3-pointer and a foul. If this is it for him with Gilas, he's going out with a bang. Whether Gilas wins or loses, it will go home. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that got the most clicks. In today's mood navigator, we see a lot of the circles are in red. From our world news section, Al-QAEDA announces new branch in Indian subcontinent. 68% of readers feel angry, 12% afraid. The running investigation on the B-Nice at the Senate, former employee says fixing bids is the usual practice in Makati. A whopping 90% of people are angry, 5% annoyed. But our top story, the story that got the most clicks, is UN-backed commander denies Philippine soldiers' claim. Has 89% of people feeling angry, 4% annoyed. All contributing to the mood of the day today, most people are angry. That's Rappler's Newscast for today, Thursday, September 4th, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch your newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Makati, and as we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.